In this lecture, we're going to learn how to handle model constraint exceptions in Nest.js application. So before we do that, let's first understand what do we mean by model constraint. So here we have our user entity. Inside this user entity, we are specifying what fields do we want in the user table in the PostgreSQL database. And on these entities, we are specifying some constraints. So for example, if I take this username property here of this user entity, on this username, we are specifying the value which will be stored for this username property should be a string value. So type here is varchar. It should not be nullable. This username must have a value and the length of that value should not be greater than 24. And we also have a unique constraint on this username property, on this username field. So in the user table, we cannot have two users with the same username. And same is true for email also. Email, it is also going to store a string value. So the type here is varchar. This email field is also a required field, so it cannot be null. The length of this email field should not be greater than 100. And this email is also unique. So in the user table, no two users can have the same email. So these are the constraint on these fields. Now, let's say when we are creating a new user, at that time, we are providing a username with which a user already exists in the table, or an email with which a user already exists in the table. So in the last lecture, we saw that when we try to do that, when we try to create a user with a duplicate email or a duplicate username, at that time, the database throws an exception. And that exception is received by the Nest.js application. So we are going to handle that exception. Currently, we are handling that exception inside this catch block by using the error code. But instead of using the error code, now what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to check. So before creating the user and saving it in the database, before that, I want to check if a user with a given username or email already exists. And for that, I'm going to create a variable. I'll call it as existing user. And to check if a user with a given email exists or not on the user repository. So for that, let's say this dot user repository dot find one, and to this find one we are going to pass an object, and inside that we are going to specify the where condition. And here I want to check whether a user with a given username or email exists. So to this where I'm going to pass an array. Inside that array, first I want to check if a user with a given username exists. So what should be the username? We are going to get that username from the user DTO. So here let's say user DTO dot username. And then the second condition is, so here we are checking if a user with a given username or if a user with a given email exists or not. So for the or, after the comma, we can specify another condition. And here we will say email, and we are going to get the email value from user DTO dot email. Okay, so if a user with a given username, which we are going to receive in this username property of this user DTO, or if a user with a given email, and that email value we are going to receive on this user DTO. If we have any such user with a given username or given email in the database, that means a user already exists with that username or that email. So in that case, we don't want to create that user. So here we will check if there is an existing user. So if this existing user value is a truthy value, in that case, I want to throw a bad request exception. So I'll copy this line from here and I'll paste it here. Okay. And here we are going to throw an exception. And here, let's say there is already a user with given username / email. Okay. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to throw the exception if a user already exists with a username or email before we try to create that user and save it in the database. Okay, and now we don't need to write this if statement in the catch block, because now we are handling a duplicate key exception in the try block itself. So we know that there are only two fields which is unique for creating a user, and that is the username field and the email field. We don't have any other field on which we have a unique constraint. So I'm already handling it here. So I can remove this if statement from here, or maybe for now I'll comment it and I'll keep it for your reference. And with this, let's save the changes. Let's see if the application is built or not. So the application is building. The application is built. Let's go to Postman. And here, let me try to again create a user with a duplicate email. If I send this request, here we still see 201 created. But if I go to the terminal, there you will see that that bad request exception is logged. So from this service, it is throwing this bad request exception, but for some reason it is not getting caught by Postman. So let's see why that is happening. Let's go to VS Code, and we are calling this create user method from the user controller from within this create user method of this post endpoint. All right, from here, we also need to return the response. We are not returning the response actually. Okay, let's save the changes now. Application is built. Let's go to the Postman and let's try to create the user again with the duplicate email. And you see, we still do not have that bad request response. And the reason why we do not have that response is because, let's go back to VS Code and let's go back to user service. So you will see that from here, we are throwing an exception. We are throwing this bad request exception. And when we are throwing an exception from the try block, it will be caught by the catch block. And in here, first we are checking if the error code is equal to this E connection refused. In this case, since we are throwing a bad request exception, this condition will fail. So this if block will not be executed. And next what we are doing is we are simply logging the error. And that's why in the terminal, the error is logged. But we are not rethrowing this exception, this bad request exception from this catch block. So from here, from the catch block, since we are not rethrowing the exception in the controller, we are not going to get that exception. So that's why by default, since we are making a post request, and for the post request, the default status code for the response is 201. And that's why we are always seeing that 201 response in the Postman. So here what we need to do is whenever an exception will occur that will be caught by this catch block, if that exception code is this, in that case, you see here also we are throwing this request timeout exception. But if that exception error code is not equal to this, in that case, let's say we simply want to throw the exception which has occurred. So in this case, instead of logging the error, I'm going to throw the error. And this error is basically storing the exception error object. In this case, it will store the exception which we have thrown using this bad request exception method. So that bad request exception, we are rethrowing from the catch block. Let me save the changes. Let's go back to the Postman and let's try it one more time. So again, I'll try to create a user with a duplicate email. Let's send the request. And now you will see that in the response, we have 400 bad request. So the status code for the response is bad request. It is 400. And in the message, we can see that there is already a user with given username and email, with a given username or email. And here it should be user. So let's change the message there. All right. Let's go back to Postman. And let's say if I change the email, so let's say the email is vivek@gmail1.com, but the username is Vivek Gupta. So with this username also, we already have a user in our user table. If I try to send this request, we should get the same 400 bad request response. But if I try to create a new user, let's say Suresh Sharma, let's say the email is suresh@gmail.com. and password is test1234. First name, let's say Suresh, last name Sharma, and gender is male. So here we have a unique username and unique email. With this username or with this email, we don't have any user in our user table. Currently, we have only one user in our user table where the username is Vivek Gupta and email is vivek@gmail.com. So this time, this user should be created. Let me send the request, and you'll see that now we have 201 created, and in the response, we have also received the user which has been created. If I go to the PG admin and if I rerun this code, now you will see that now we have two users. So in this lecture, we learned how we can handle exceptions which occurs on a model constraint. And so far, we have learned about different built-in exception methods. We learned about bad request exception. We learned about request timeout exception. And we also learned about this not found exception. So all these are built-in exceptions in Nest.js. Now we can also create our own custom exceptions. And we will learn how we can do that in our next lecture. This is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.